Alright, so we just got back from watching Transformers 4, Age of Extinction. I'm Mark Gunner, and this is my brother Rob. This is my second time seeing the movie. I went to a pre-screening this past Wednesday. This is his first time seeing it, so I have a bit more perspective seeing both. He is fresh out of the theater. Like, literally, we just got back. Well, we just got out of the theater 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, 10 minutes ago.
Rob, what is your overall opinion? Let's just get that out of the way.
I feel like it was a good movie. The story progressed in a good way. It wasn't like Dark of the Moon, where you were just sitting there like, oh my god, these characters are annoying and pointless.
Also...
Really, shut up. Victoria's Secret model, shut up. Shia LaBeouf, get out of the movie. Oh, that movie was annoying.
And also, you could feel the time eat away at your soul. Here, they were both, Dark of the Moon, as well as this one, they were both 3-hour movies, but here, you didn't feel the 3 hours eat away at your soul.
Yeah, that's a big bonus.
Alright, well, before we get into specifics about the movie, let's go over trailers. We got in a little late, so we didn't see all of them. Thankfully, we missed the TMNT trailer.
Oh my god, if I sat through that, it would have been like,
neither of us have any interest in it. It's
no.
I mean, granted, this bodes well for Michael Bay, like it's a turning point. It seems like he's doing better.
Yeah,
but
it does.
I still have no interest in seeing what he... Considering the art style and the fact that Shredder looks like the love child between a blender and a slap chop or a Swiss Army knife. He looks like covered in blades.
Megan Fox.
Oh, Megan Fox. I don't care about Megan Fox. Either way. She can be good, she can be bad, but overall she's just there for eye candy. She knows she's there for eye candy. That's why she left Michael Bay Productions with the third...
Second.
On the third. She wasn't in the third.
Yeah, she left there.
But the third Transformers movie. Anyway, we saw a trailer for Hercules with The Rock. While it's pretty obvious they are not going with the Hercules mythology that I know, where Megara is killed by Hercules through Hera, or no, killed by Hera. No, Megara is killed by
Hercules.
By Hera through Hercules.
Oh, yes.
By using Hercules. They're saying that they were killed by other gods, specifically the go-to bad guy, Hades, is what they're making it look like. I'm getting sick and tired of Greek mythology movies slating Hades as the bad guy. Yeah, he's the Lord of the Dead. Yeah, he doesn't necessarily have a seat on Olympus. That's because he's fucking busy in the underworld.
Yep.
You got a lot of shit to deal with in the underworld. Yeah, he's Lord of the Dead, but that's part of life. Death is part of life. It's a balance. It's the circle of life.
Why must you sing that? Singing that randomly is almost as bad as reciting "Let It Go" from Frozen.
Let it go.
Oh, jeez.
Let it go. Okay, going on. There was also this Dracula movie. It was called Dracula Untold?
Yes, Dracula Untold.
Dracula Untold.
Just curious, why are we going over the trailers? Does it really matter?
Yeah, everyone else does this, so why not?
Whatever.
Yeah, Dracula Untold. It's not like another... It's not another Dracula movie. It's not another retelling of Bram Stoker. This is actually appearing to revolve around Vlad Tepes. Vlad the Impaler. Like, this is what happened before he was Dracula.
But it also goes into after...
Well, no, it's like during his transformation from Vlad into Dracula. It's not just, oh, bloodlust. No, he makes a deal with a vampire. But by what it's looking at like in the trailer, he makes a deal with a vampire to defend his country. It's giving him a sympathetic light, but it'll probably be one of those movies where it's like, oh, he was a hero, but now he's slowly devolving into a monster, and he's going to become the villain. You know, the old Dark Knight chestnut. You either die a hero or see yourself live long enough to become the villain.
Yeah.
Which everyone loves to play with that shit. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a decent thing to play around with. I mean, sometimes it can be told in like a really good fashion. Other times it's ruined. I
mean, this one looks like it could be fun.
It does.
I mean, I'll probably give it a shot. One vampire. And they showed him
cool.
And they showed him get burned by sunlight in the trailer. I like that they added that in. You know, we're working backwards, and sometimes taking a step back is a good decision.
Exactly.
Taking the vampires back, making them badasses again.
They were ruined by Twilight.
Everyone knows it, Rob. Everyone knows it. Do we have to go over that?
Nope.
Exactly. The last two trailers I can remember was one for Hunger Games, which I don't care about and I'm not gonna see. And
anyone who's a Hunger Games fan, please don't rage at him.
I fucking hate Hunger Games. Battle
You're
Royale.
You're an idiot.
Battle Royale. End of story.
It's a it took inspiration.
It's a Battle Royale ripoff.
It's not a ripoff. Well. It does it well. Watch the movies and read the books.
I don't care. I don't want to.
Fine. Every Hunger Games fan who's watching this, rage at him.
Anyway, continuing. The last one was this weird one that stars, what's his name? He was in Iron Man. He's the Techno Jedi. I can't remember his name. Techno Jedi and Tron.
Oh!
Can
you remember?
Keep your voice down. You don't gotta yell.
Okay,
you know what? Fuck it.
The guy who played, Flynn. Oh, I can't remember his name. I'm such an idiot for forgetting this.
Tron Legacy. Give me 3 seconds.
Alright.
You know what? Hell, just go on to Tron 1982. It's Kevin Flynn. Full cast and crew. Jeff Bridges! Jeff Bridges. Yeah. Jeff Bridges. Apparently, Jeff Bridges is like this librarian guy. And
it's based on a book. It's The Giver. It's based on the book about the people living in...
Never heard of this book.
Society where everything is chosen for them. Their jobs in life are chosen for them. They can't make children. Their children are made by brood mothers.
Brood mothers? What the fuck?
Yes. Some women are chosen to be brood mothers.
Okay, this kid knows this kid knows more about this book than I. Okay, he read the book. I didn't know.
It was boring.
Okay. Well, that's what they're trying to make the beginning of the movie look like, because everything's in black and white. And
yes, that was what the world was like.
Apparently, everyone receives injections so that they, like, it dulls their senses and their emotions or something. And then this kid goes to see Jeff Bridges, and he's in a library. And Jeff Bridges
is called the Giver. The Giver retains memories from the past. Pretty much meaning war, death, famine, happiness.
Everything, both good and bad. He's a librarian. And, hell, the kid walks in, he's looking around, and Jeff Bridges looks at him, and it's like, they're called books, fuckhead.
He doesn't say that, but he says they're called books.
They're called books. And then he does, like, this Jedi, or this Vulcan mind meld deal.
Yeah, he puts his hands on the kid's hands, and the kid sees everything color. In his...
And he starts seeing
head,
color.
And it's... yeah.
But yeah, that was about the only other trailer I can think of.
Yes, those were all the trailers.
So, starting with the movie, let me say what I was expecting from this movie. from the previous movies, you know, I'm expecting, okay, I'm going to get an ass shot of a Victoria's Secret model in the first 10 minutes. I'm going to get big military boners from Michael Bay. I'm going to get explosions out the yin-yang.
Which that was in the movie.
Well, we did get explosions. I was expecting...
Explosions Mr. Torg style. That's pretty much what Michael Bay did.
Explosions? Question mark? And I was expecting some very wooden acting and craptastic amounts of comic relief. No ass shots, no objectification of women of any kind, as far as I can remember. Like,
I can't remember anything like that at all.
Like the worst we got was the surfer dude eyeing up some girl. In the beginning of the movie, there's Mark Wahlberg, who plays the character of Cade Yeager. Yeah, that's another thing. Everyone loves using the word Jaeger. I mean, I get Jaeger means hunter, and it's a cool fucking name, but it's a cool word. But spell it right. It was spelt with a Y in this. It's supposed to be a J. It's a German word. It's supposed to be with a J.
That was...
But...
Yeah, that's the actual word.
Whatever.
Eren Yeager in Attack on Titan spells it with a Y.
Eren Yeager's also a bitch.
No, that's Armin. Get it right.
No, Armin's a bitch too, but...
Armin's a worse one, James.
They're both bitches. I will say they're not like Evangelion.
Yeah, they're not
bitches.
like them.
I can't remember what that kid's name is off the top of my head.
It's because you don't want to remember him.
Yeah. Anyway, Cade Yeager, Mark Wahlberg, he's a single father and a struggling inventor, and he works alongside like a friend of his who's like this beach bum
surfer dude.
And that's really weird. And he's got like this surfer dude, he's got a car and he's got a surfboard on it, and I'm looking at it like, you live in Texas.
Why would you need that?
I mean, I don't know what the waves are like on the Mexican Gulf, but I guess they're...
The Gulf of Mexico.
The Gulf of Mexico.
With Florida.
No, the inside.
You know your geography?
Yeah, the inside. Mexico hits the Gulf as well. I know my geography, kid. The edge of Mexico toward the bottom.
Okay.
I don't know what the waves are like down there, but I guess they're not like surfer dude territory.
They suck.
Anyway, this guy is obvious. This surfer dude guy, and that's I don't remember the guy's name. He's just there as comic relief in the first half hour of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucas, that was his name. I'm pretty sure it was Lucas.
Doesn't matter. He's cannon fodder. That was one thing I didn't see this coming. Because on Wednesday, when I was watching this movie at the preview, I'm sitting in the theater, and there's this scene where Optimus Prime and the main villain of the movie, Lockdown, who's like a fan favorite from Transformers Animated.
He's one of my favorites besides Soundwave. Soundwave is like in my book.
But the two of them are fighting, and the humans are being chased by, guess who? The military. Hmm? The military are the bad guys?
Yes.
Yeah, a little different for a Michael Bay movie.
I actually don't like that idea. But
they were acting alone. It was explained they were acting alone.
It was CIA.
Not a CIA, but it was a division of the CIA that kept themselves clandestine, and they didn't answer to like Obama and the other guys. They were very much secluded. They operated on their own.
Yeah.
And they tried to keep everything hush-hush and secret, you know, when they're slaughtering Autobots wholesale. Because this clandestine group, they're trying to slaughter Autobots wholesale and kill all of the Transformers, Decepticons, Autobots alike. They don't want any. Which is dumb when the whole group is only running, it's only working because the leader of the group is teamed up, is like working alongside.
He signed a contract.
With Lockdown. If he and they make it very clear that not. Give me a moment. I can't remember his name. Fraser. Not. Is it Fraser? Give me a second. It's right here. Kelsey Grammer. Kelsey Grammer, who puts in a very good performance, very strong, very scumbaggy villain. Not as scumbaggy as his sidekick. Who
deservedly got killed.
Thank God. He got his comeuppance. They were slimy. They like oozed slime. You could. Ugh.
They were just horrible, horrible people.
They made it very obvious they hated Transformers. They hated the Cybertronians. So why they were working with Lockdown was never clearly explained, and that's like one of my biggest faults with the movie. But going to one of my biggest like praises for the movie, the first fight with Lockdown and Optimus. Lockdown activates a grenade and he throws it at Mark Wahlberg and his family group. They're trying to escape. Oh, you totally
forgot about the other person.
Get to it later. He's not important. You know, he really doesn't do anything important in the story.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Comparatively to Mark Wahlberg. Lockdown throws down this grenade, and the grenade turns everything around it to Cybertronian metal. Which, they refer to as transformium. You thought Avatar had the what was it? Do you think Avatar has the staple on stupid names for metals? Unobtainium? Okay. Transformium. That's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But anyway, he activates this grenade, and somehow Mark Wahlberg, his daughter, and his daughter's boyfriend escape the blast radius. If you're looking at the special effect, it looks like they should have gotten hit like 5 times by this thing.
Yeah.
But they managed to escape because they're the main characters. But Mr. Comic Relief is caught straight in the blast. And when I saw this in the theater on Wednesday, I was like, okay, how is he going to get out of this? Because he's the Comic Relief character. And as we know, between
Mudflap and Skids.
Mudflap and Skids, how they never fucking died in Revenge of the Fallen.
Which they should have. They were swallowed by Devastator.
One of them was. Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, one of them was. He should have died. He shouldn't have been able to shoot himself out of it. That was
he was eaten up by grinders. Anyway, the Comic Relief always lives in these stupid Michael Bay movies. But the dust clears, and it shows he's frozen in place like a Pompeii statue. His bones and his skin are all melted and like reformed into metal.
His skin was pretty much melted. I mean, all you really saw was like
rib cage, little rib cage, a little bit of his skin, a horrified face.
Yeah, it was pretty much all his skeleton. And his skin,
melted
what
down
was disturbing to me was there were some patches of skin on it that were not connected to anything, and that were like red, and that was disturbing.
No, that was clothes.
No, that wasn't clothes. There was skin.
Well, there was some clothes on it, too.
There were some clothes, but there was skin. It was disturbing.
Yeah, it was messed up. But when I saw it in the theater the first time, I got up and I fucking applauded. I applauded this, because you walk into a Michael Bay movie and you know what you're going to get. You know exactly what the formula is, what you're going to see, and how it's going to happen. I didn't see this coming. This was a complete surprise and a godsend, a fucking godsend, to see them decide, okay, we have a really, really annoying character that everyone is going to want to see dead if they have to sit through this fucking movie for 3 hours with this guy. How about we kill him in the first act? Yeah!
I approve of you finally, Michael Bay.
In this decision.
In this decision. In other decisions he's made, I kind of want to take
Like
a
his
shotgun to his head.
Like the first attempt to make the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles into aliens. Oh, of the commercial, the part of the commercial for TMNT we did see, they outright stated that they weren't aliens. They had to state that, like, in bold font, not aliens. But anyway, back to the movie. Yeah, this guy died brutally, and they actually make his death, like, they give you time to soak it in. It has an impact on and it has an impact on the characters.
It does.
Well, I mean, it doesn't last the entire movie, because they gotta move on, but...
Exactly.
But...
It has an impact on...
It sinks in. It's not like in Dark of the Moon, where there's this where there's all these massive amounts of destruction, or there's all of these gunmetal gray mishmashes of random Decepticons all throughout the city, and they're getting slaughtered wholesale by the Autobots. And you're watching it, and it's like, I have no idea who these guys are. All these deaths of Cybertronians and humans, I have no idea what's going on.
Well, Cybertronian deaths, you don't need to know who they are.
Yeah,
because
it helps if you do.
I'm talking about the standard soldiers, like the Vehicons. You don't care about that, but the moment when Soundwave was shot in the head by Bumblebee, I said, no, Soundwave deserves a better death than that. No. Just no.
But
anyway.
They don't give you time to soak in the deaths.
Yeah.
It makes it less important. Here, they actually give some gravitas to the deaths, which is unexpected. As I said, very unexpected. Let's talk about Mark Wahlberg.
Good actor. Good actor.
Well, everyone knows that. He's earned his acting chops. It's just...
Michael Bay made a good decision
replacing...
in taking Shia LaBeouf and throwing him out the window. Because, you know, replacing him with Mark Wahlberg...
That's a great decision.
That was, like, one of the best decisions he's made for this movie.
Because what were the two lines that you can... the only two lines you can think of off the top of your head, the only two defining lines of Shia LaBeouf from the 3 Transformers movies.
Wait.
Bumblebee! Optimus! And everyone watching probably just agreed with us. Because we all know that nobody wants to listen to that again. So, what is Mark Wahlberg? Like we said, he was a struggling inventor. So when he gets his hands on some CIA tech, he uses it to track down the people who were responsible for making it. You know, the guys who were contracted out to this Black Ops team. And they wanted to find out, okay, so why are they hunting the Autobots? What is going on? And it's a big scene, a big scene of corporate espionage, basically.
Yep.
Where he's trying to figure out what's going on and trying to get some info for the Autobots. Also, the Autobots. One of my biggest gripes with the past 2 films.
You really
more so
couldn't get attached to the characters.
More so Revenge of the Fallen, because you saw a bunch of characters throughout Revenge of the Fallen. You saw a bunch of Autobots that just came and went.
They
and never got
expected
anything.
you to read the comics for that, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because with the comics, you kind of got attached to the RC group, which was RC, Chromia, and Elita 1. You kind of got attached to them through the comics, but if you didn't read the comics, you're like, what are they doing? Why are they important? Why are they here?
And this isn't Watchmen. You don't give homework for Michael Bay.
Exactly.
You don't give homework for this shit. And you shouldn't have to. Like, it could help, but it shouldn't be a necessity.
Yeah.
But yeah, they significantly reduced the cast. The Autobot cast.
5 Autobots.
Which was Optimus Prime, who didn't need any more development.
Crosshair's a completely new one.
Crosshairs, Drift, and Hound. Those are the 3 new guys. Hound is voiced by John Goodman, and I gotta tell you, he is fun. He was a lot of fun listening to.
Yeah,
He was the gruff, tough,
fat guy,
fat soldier, like fat veteran soldier. Like think Ironhide, but with a better sense of humor and even more trigger happy.
And also, guts.
Yeah,
His gut was like.
Like if you liked
Oh jeez.
What's Fat Ass's name?
Bulkhead.
Bulkhead. If you like Bulkhead from Transformers Prime, you'll love Hound in this.
Hound has some of the best lines too.
He does, but
especially on Lockdown's ship.
But the lines are evenly dispersed because, like I said, they reduced the Autobot cast, so you got a chance to meet the Autobots, and they actually had lines. They actually had scenes where they interacted with one another and with the humans, and you got a chance to know what they were all about.
Like Drift with Bumblebee in one scene. Should I explain it?
I felt that was actually kind of a waste. I'll explain.
Yeah.
Drift and Bumblebee are Drift thinks that Bumblebee is a waste of a leader because he's been young. He's been leading this ragtag group.
4 Autobot misfits.
He's been leading this ragtag group of surviving Autobots, and Drift doesn't think that he's worth anything. He doesn't think he's leader material.
Which is believable because Drift is probably a more hardened soldier than Bumblebee. I mean, if you think about it, if he's saying that Bumblebee is young, you gotta think he's
no,
pretty hardened veteran, maybe.
Not really, if you know Drift, which is another one of my issues. Drift is actually an IDW comic creation. He was never in any other Transformers series besides the comics. And originally he was a Decepticon who converted.
Yeah.
And in the comics, he's basically, he's an otaku. He comes to Earth, and he's an otaku. Because he exposes himself to human cultures, and he latches on to Japanese. So that's why his vehicle mode is a drift racer. And in this movie, they kept that, and it's a Bugatti. It's actually a really fucking cool car.
Yeah,
the cars in this movie were pretty badass.
I liked Lockdown's Lamborghini Aventador the best. Seriously, that was just, oh my god, it was beautiful. It was so beautiful.
And apparently Optimus Prime's vehicle mode in this was actually a concept car custom made specifically for this movie.
And that was a great idea. It was a pretty sweet truck. It seriously
was, but one of my issues from the previous movies with Optimus Prime's design continues to plague it. The flames are just too faggy. I hate the flames. The flames on the previous Optimus Primes were worse. Were far worse.
At least the flames on this one looked kind of cool. I have to admit, the flames on this one...
The colors were more dispersed.
And also, it did add, like, a little bit more detail to the robot mode, if you remember. Like how the flames were on the robot mode. The way they were...
Actually, they weren't so much flames. You just saw a lot more blue on the robot mode. You didn't see as much gunmetal gray mishmash.
Yeah, that was horrible. That really was.
There's a very distinct lack of gunmetal gray, even from Galvatron.
Galvatron is stark white.
Yeah, he's pretty stark white with like
silver detailing.
Silver and purple and gold detailing.
Yeah, silver, purple, and gold. Yep.
As far as a Galvatron...
Oh, and a giant hole in his chest.
That was just a...
Yeah, a giant friggin' yellow hole in his chest.
Whatever.
I like the fat guy in the labs. I think it looks cool. That does not look friendly to civilians. What are you thinking?
Yeah, there's this company called KSI that has been mining transformium for years. and after the Transformers came down, they figured out, oh shit, this is what they're made of.
Oh, and the geology thing in the beginning?
That's not important. In the beginning of the movie, they show that at one of their dig sites, they didn't just find a bunch of ore. They also found dinosaur skeletons that were transformed into this metal. Much in the same way that the comic relief guy was. It's the same exact way.
Oh, wait, we totally skipped over the opening scene, which that's a pretty big deal.
No, yeah, we'll get to that at the end, because that's also that's also in point of setup for the next movie.
Yes.
Which they do that a lot. They set up a lot of things.
Yeah, the setup for the next movie. I feel like that was a good idea, though.
Let's go back. Go back to the Autobots, because we keep on getting off track.
Yes.
Drift was originally an IDW creation, like I said, and he was originally a Decepticon.
He converted.
And he always had an attitude in the comics. So him having an attitude with Bumblebee is perfectly understandable.
Yeah, definitely.
And they only kept it for the one scene. I felt it was a little wasted.
The whole thing with Drift being a triple changer, I felt that was a little weird.
Yeah, the Bugatti car that is used for Drift's alt mode is a very small car, and amongst the Transformers in this group, he is the smallest. So
besides Bumblebee.
No, Bumblebee is a bit taller than him, I think.
No, he's taller than Bumblebee. Bumblebee's the smallest of them.
I don't think so. But
yeah, he is.
But he has the smallest car mode. So I'm looking at it, and they're also telling me it's a triple changer, and he changes into a helicopter.
A Cybertronian helicopter. It looks like a mismatch of...
it's actually a pretty cool helicopter.
I mean, like... I feel like it was kind of wasted. I mean...
It felt dumb to have a random helicopter.
Exactly. But I guess the Autobots have to have some sort of air vehicle.
They've never had an air vehicle in any of the other movies.
Jetfire. The old fart.
Oh, yeah, the guy who died. The guy who was falling apart all the time. Yeah, because he was real important to the plot of that movie. Anyway, also Crosshairs, who was voiced by...
Crosshairs was a jerk.
John DiMaggio, a.k.a. Bender, was a frickin' Transformer. Sadly, he didn't sound like it. He didn't sound like Bender, or Jake the Dog, or even the Joker from Under the Red Hood. He didn't sound... He took a very different direction with this guy. A completely different voice. I would have liked to see more of the John DiMaggio assholeness with this guy, but it was alright. He got enough prick moments in there. But,
I think he got more than enough.
He was also a badass.
Yeah, that one scene on the...
Yeah, there's this scene where he's... where he jumps off of a...
Decepticon flyer, kind of like the ones in the third movie.
Yeah, he jumps off of, like, basically a scout ship. And he ejects parachutes off of his back. Why this guy has random parachutes on his back is beyond me. Then again, I'm talking about the robot that has a fucking trench coat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since when do these guys have frickin' trench coats?
He was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a cool design, but why did he have parachutes?
Yeah, that's...
But anyway...
That doesn't make sense.
It was just for badassness. He ejects these parachutes, and he takes out these twin machine gun... Like submachine guns, and just unloads on a bunch of other scout ships.
Yeah, that was a great thing. He was laughing through it.
It was a fun scene. A lot of the fight scenes in this movie were really well done. I felt
they were.
Shaky cam used very sparingly, if at all. The only time I actually remember shaky cam was actually not during the fight scenes. It was during the chase scenes. Chase scenes, they used a lot more shaky cam.
Definitely.
In the fight scenes, it was It was a lot of panning, pull-outs, pull-ins. But you saw what was happening.
Exactly.
And, also, like I said, there was a very distinct lack of gunmetal gray in this movie.
There were only, like, specific points where you could see the gunmetal gray, and that's a lot later in the movie.
That would be the Dinobots.
Exactly.
And when the only thing that is gunmetal gray are four dinosaurs that are very distinct. They're not just random mishmashes of random snarling, I am Decepticon, blur. No, it's
T-Rex.
Rex. I'm a motherfucking T-Rex. Rex. I'm a motherfucking T-Rex. Rex.
Snarling T-Rexes.
It's a T-Rex. It's obviously a T-Rex, a Spinosaurus, a Triceratops, and a two-headed pterodactyl.
I liked that design. Personally.
It was weird.
It was weird, but it was cool.
There was no reason. Why couldn't they just have Swoop?
They decided to put Strafe instead.
Strafe didn't exist. It was just supposed to be Swoop.
It was supposed to be Swoop, but...
There's only Swoop. The San Diego Comic-Con exclusive set that they showed at BotCon has all of these guys in, including a Stegosaurus, which wasn't in this movie.
Oh wait, yeah, there was a Stegosaurus.
No, that was the Spinosaurus.
Was it?
That was the Spinosaurus.
Oh. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
Spinosaurus. Yeah. And in the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive set, they're all done up in G1 colors, including the pterodactyl. And their box is of the G1 base. So it's obviously supposed to be Grimlock, Snarl, Slag, and Swoop. It's supposed to be them, but it's not. But whatever. It's not Swoop. I didn't like the unnecessary second head. It's badass.
It is.
But
it was kind of unnecessary, but it looks awesome. And also, it does fit into the robot mode, the way the heads... They curve down.
Curve down onto his shoulders.
Yeah, those I thought were kind of cool. Those were cool.
But you only saw his robot mode twice.
Yeah. Same deal with Grimlocks. And the rest of them.
Yeah, the Dinobots are literally false advertising for this movie. They're in the movie for the last half hour. And
maybe even 40 minutes.
They're in for the final edge of the last act.
Pretty much.
And you see their robot modes as they come off of a spaceship. Because okay, backtrack. Optimus Prime was taken captive by Lockdown onto Lockdown's big spaceship. The Autobots
because of the deal with the CIA.
With
the whole
CIA,
deal was he gets Optimus, they get something called the Seed. We'll go on to that later.
No, the Seed is just this big, basically a tactical nuke that transforms anything within its blast radius into Cybertronian metal.
Pretty much what the comic relief guy, what happened to him.
Yeah, it does, but, of the size of a tactical nuke. So all the Autobots go on to save him off of the spaceship, and Optimus says, "Oh, this ship can detach. The wings of this ship can detach, and they're separate ships. So get to the control panel. We can get out of here." And they take it. They fly off, and it just so happens that in that same part of the ship that they were on was also the Dinobots.
Lockdown's trophy room.
Yeah, Lockdown's trophy room was put inside of a part of the ship that could be ejected. Yeah, smart building planning, smart designing, dude.
Lockdown's quite stupid. Compared to his animated self, he's stupid in this movie.
It's more plot convenience stupidity.
Exactly.
But the way he behaves, Lockdown is actually a very threatening villain.
He is, definitely.
A lot more threatening than Megatron has been in the past couple of movies.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, they they eject this part of the ship off of it, and when they're about to get into the final battle, which is always badass, it's always an enjoyable final battle.
Yeah. Even
And
if
also,
the
this one
movie
didn't.
sucks.
Yeah, it's an enjoyable final battle. And they're like, okay, we need backup. So Optimus goes up on the ship, and these guys have been stuck in the, apparently still stuck in their cages ever since they ejected off of the main ship, and Optimus never got around to busting them out of their cages.
I feel like that was a stupid decision on Optimus' part, but...
Really? These guys saw that you were held captive too, and you're not going to bust them out?
Also, Optimus was a Knight of Cybertron?
Yeah, that was something they decided to add into this movie, which is weird. The Knights of Cybertron, which is a concept that was brought into the comics and some other continuities. But the Knights of Cybertron are basically the most ancient warriors, and basically the Knights of the Round Table of Cybertron.
I don't think the Dinobots were the Knights. I mean,
not
they
in
were
any other continuity, but here, the way they do it makes sense.
I mean,
because
they're never, stated to be knights. It's just, they are legendary warriors.
Well,
they could help us.
No, Lockdown does state, it's taken me a long time to collect all of the Knights of Cybertron. And you're the last one. And he puts him in a cage in the same area as the rest of the Knights.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And the thing that spits at Hound. That was a...
Yeah, there was a face hugger there.
Yeah, there was a face hugger. You're too ugly to live. Now you're dead. That was Hound's... Those were Hound's lines.
Not exactly.
They're almost exactly.
No, that was butchered, Rob. Anyway,
he did say, now you're dead.
He releases the Dinobots, and they walk out of the ship, and he's like, alright, you either fight against all of these Viacons, or you fight me. And me, Grimlock King, so he starts trying to kick the shit out of Optimus.
Well, Grimlock doesn't talk, he just goes, roar!
But if he could talk, he would have said, me, Grimlock King.
Yeah. They're gonna teach him how to talk, probably.
Apparently they spoke some ancient Cybertronian tongue or something.
Yeah.
Which, okay. The Knights of Cybertron are apparent... I said they're an ancient order, they're like
yes, they are...
Round Table. The way they explain their origin, and they're very loose with this, but at the beginning of the movie, they show Cybertronian ships coming down to Earth in 64 million BC.
65.
64, 65, give or take a few eons. And start cyberforming the planet. And that includes all the living creatures, which, in this case, are dinosaurs. And that's where we saw the skeleton at the begin.
Yep.
The dino skeletons at the dig site at the beginning of the movie. So if they just cyberformed that, in my mind, that was also when something like the Cube probably still existed.
The Cube or
the anything.
Matrix of Leadership or something.
Anything that can give life to Cybertronian metal. They're
Maybe not the Matrix of Leadership, but
whatever. They were probably like, huh. Dong! Roar! And those were the originals. Those were early Cybertronians.
The creators.
Yeah, let's get into that later when we talk about.
And then let's talk about our theories about them because.
Yeah, continuing. The Dinobots were badass. The scenes they were in were great. But if you're going to this just to see the Dinobots because you saw the poster with Optimus Prime riding Grimlock into battle, I mean, that happens, and it is glorious, but...
That should happen more often.
It only happened in the last half hour, which was disappointing.
Yeah. It was still cool, though.
We don't want to spoil too much of the movie. I mean, we're talking about it at length, but we don't want to spoil everything. What else would you like to bring up? 'Cause I'm pretty much toasted.
Stinger?
Ah, yes. Okay.
That.
Yeah, and the Viacons. KSI, this company who's been mining all the transformium.
Yeah,
They
talked about them earlier.
They found a way to take the transformium and program it, programmable matter, and make it transform from one thing into anything they want. Like there's this
Product placement.
Yeah, product placement. The first scene they show where they do this guy takes like just a clump of transformium, and they give it a signal, and it transforms into
A Beats
pill, a speaker.
Speaker, yeah,
just
Beats
a music
speaker.
speaker, and then transforms into a gun.
Yep.
And later on, more internal product placement. This kid hates it. I love it. I absolutely love it. This guy, the scientist guy, had a big Rainbow Dash, not plush. It was like some kind of statue or something. He had a big Rainbow Dash statue, and then he was like, "Okay, do it," and it turns into like a big ass badass assault rifle. You got to admit that was awesome.
I have to admit, changing it into assault rifle was good. Getting that horrendous, ugly Getting the rainbow... and replacing it with... replacing it with a rifle was
Continuing.
perfect. Yes? Give me a couple minutes.
I'll send him up. Continuing. They also find a way to basically 3D print Transformers.
Yeah.
So they decide to design two. Two specific, like they have a mass production line, which is basically Viacons.
Yeah, there was one of them that like caught my eye though. One of the mass production ones. It had two Shockwave heads.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know. For some reason, it looked like Shock. I saw that too.
Yeah, it had the like
It had two
like
Shockwave heads.
Dark of the Moon Shockwave. I mean, I could recognize the mouth, like the pattern of the mouth.
It was
and
dumb. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like maybe you could say he was a general. But
Probably.
they designed two very specific variants. One
Stinger?
is Stinger.
And Galvatron.
Stinger is like this. What was it? Like a Ferrari? I don't even know what it was.
I don't remember what it was specifically, but
it was a very
high-end
concept car.
Definitely very high end.
It was a concept car of some kind.
And it was pink.
No, it wasn't pink. It was like a light burgundy or something. It wasn't pink. It was
as Donut says. It's a lightish red.
It wasn't donut. It wasn't donut light red.
It wasn't donut light red, but it was very, very light red.
It was a pretty badass shade of light red.
Yeah, okay, you can say that.
Anyway, they explained that they decided they wanted to mass produce their own Transformers for the
U.S.
public.
military.
And they based two of them off of Optimus
Existing
Prime
Transformers.
and Bumblebee, like taking inspiration from them. Stinger was Bumblebee basically, and Bumblebee got pissed when he saw that they basically ripped off his design, and they called him a punk. They had a commercial that played in Stinger's like showroom.
They called him a hunk of junk.
They called him a hunk of junk, an archaic piece of crap. They called him an antique. He got pissed. And so the scene where Bumblebee eventually eviscerates Stinger is just that much more satisfying.
But anyway, back onto this scene.
They also show off Galvatron. And they say that they got the designs for how to make Cybertronians
from Megatron's head.
That they got from the Chicago War from episode 3. What the fuck am I saying? From Dark of the Moon. And you know, when you're getting your design specs from the head of the leader of the bad guys, you might want to cross-check it, or at least you know, think about it for a second, because they said they designed their truck transformer.
They designed Galvatron. Optimus. And
when they tried to 3D print it, they said it always kept turning out like Megatron.
And it had a giant yellow hole in the middle of it. It had devil horns. Not like actual devil horns, but if you look at it, it looks like devil horns. Menacing red eyes. And it just looked like...
He looked threatening. He actually looked like a threatening bad guy.
Not like Dark of the Moon Megatron, which looked like an old, disheveled man. Friggin'
The
scars
coat.
all over him with a coat.
The coat was cool, but...
Yeah, the coat was cool,
Galvatron is a very, very well-deserved upgrade.
Definitely.
Also, this version of Megatron, Galvatron, is actually voiced by Frank Welker.
It is.
Which is very welcome, because past few movies, who was he voiced by? I can't remember the name.
I don't remember.
He was voiced by Agent Smith from Matrix, from Elrond from the Lord of the Rings movies, Red Skull from Captain America. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. I'll probably just list it right here, and you guys can hit me later. Like, right there. Then... yeah, like I said, Frank Welker, very welcome.
All you could really hear from that voice was Prime Megatron.
Yeah,
seriously,
from Transformers Prime.
You can just hear Prime Megatron.
He was there.
Like,
that was his
on.
role. He was there to be Megatron.
Definitely.
And he pulled it off. But sadly, he felt like wasted potential because he wasn't the main villain.
He was set up.
He was set up for the next movie.
Hopefully.
Lockdown was the main villain, and he was very well portrayed. He was very threatening.
But he didn't get a good death.
What? How did he not
His death really wasn't like...
He got... Okay.
It wasn't like
Bumblebee?
an awesome death.
Okay,
it was
Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, and Mark Wahlberg teamed up, and he ended up impaled on Prime's Night Sword, to the point where he... down the middle. I have to say, compared to some of Optimus...
Compared to some of the other
Optimus
deaths
Prime's,
in the movie.
I shall take your face.
Yeah, compared to some of the other deaths in these movies, it was good. It was good.
Also, setting up for sequels.
There was so much setup in this movie.
Galvatron is still on Earth. He didn't die for the umpteenth time. This is probably the... okay. Yeah, this is the second time he didn't die. But this was also the first time he came out unscathed.
Yeah.
As I said, in the beginning of the movie, they showed Cybertronian ships coming down to cyberform Earth. In 64
while they
BC.
were showing that...
They also showed inside of the ship.
It showed a very fleshy, pink... somewhat like its fingers look like tentacles. If you really
tentacles.
Not tentacles, but like
they
were just elongated, and it was like, the hell is that?
Because it wasn't because it's a Cybertronian ship, and they were making Cybertronian metal, but that wasn't
Cybertronian.
That wasn't a Cybertronian in there. That was flesh and bone and gooiness, and it was left. And it's weird, because I don't know where they're going to go. Because they kept saying... the reason Lockdown came to Earth and he was hunting down Optimus was because there was a bounty on Optimus Prime's head from some group called the Creators. And they explained the Creators are the ones who created the Cybertronians, all the Transformers. If this is going the route of G1, they're going the route of the Quintessons. And the Quintessons were generally more organic than they were cyber.
I mean, if they're really going Quintessons, I'm not sure the Quintessons didn't make Cybertronians, though.
In G1 they did.
They did?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
You didn't watch G1, Rob.
I've watched a decent amount of it.
Did you watch past the movie?
Yeah.
Extensively? There you go. So yeah, looks like they're setting up for the Quintessons. Galvatron is still active, and Optimus Prime flies off into space to sacrifice himself and find these creators.
He flies off into space for the umpteenth time.
No, this is the only time he flew into space.
Well, not referring to the movies, I mean referring to all of Transformers as like the umpteenth time. He just flies up into space to hopefully not be seen by anyone.
Okay, the only other Cybertronian I remember flying up into space in the Transformers movies was Starscream, and that was in the first one.
End of the first one. That was the after credit
Yeah.
scene. Was there even an after credit scene in
No.
Transformers? You stayed?
I stayed. There wasn't.
Okay.
I mean, I did. Yeah, there wasn't. As far as I know. Yeah. So, ending thoughts. The Cybertronian. Yeah. Sorry about that. Skype. Ending thoughts. The Autobots were a big improvement on the past ones in the series. The fight scenes, you're going into a Michael Bay movie, you're turning off your brain and you're going in to enjoy some explosions. The explosions and the fight scenes were fun and mind-numbingly awesome.
And they were well done.
Like I said, no, very little, if any, shaky cam. So you saw what was going on. The Autobots were all brightly colored. The Viacons were brightly colored.
Which I didn't really think that made sense for Vehicons. I mean,
they were based off of
Vehicons.
multiple different kinds of cars with varying colors.
But I mean, like, most of the time the
Yeah,
Vehicons are like black, silver, or purple.
It was fun to see something other than a single solitary color.
You got a point there.
Would you rather, like, giant globs of a single color, or a little bit of variety?
Variety, definitely.
Gunmetal Gray was reserved for Dinobots, and that was fine because their character models were so distinct from everything else that
They really were.
They didn't get lost. Also, I'm a motherfucking T-Rex!
That was perfect. Like, all of the scenes with Grimlock. I mean,
It was badass. It was badass.
I even feel that the robot modes of the Dinobots weren't that bad.
For all of the 3 seconds that they were on
Exactly.
screen.
I feel like the robot modes were perfectly fine. Originally, I thought the robot modes were going to be garbage.
Because of the early leaked images.
Yeah, the early leaked image, I wanted to rage at Michael Bay so bad. But
It's fine.
thank God they went away from that.
It's fine. What else? I think we pretty much hit every nail on the head.
Yeah, without going, like, really in-depth, because if we really went in-depth, we'd be here for about 3 hours.
Yeah. The only other things I can say are, like, the human characters. Mark Wahlberg, great performance.
Definitely.
Nicola... I think her name was Nicola? Nicola Peltz, who was his daughter Tessa. I felt she was the blandest, but she didn't hit levels of, like,
Shia LaBeouf
Megan
bland.
Fox bland.
Shia LaBeouf bland or Megan Fox bland.
She didn't
Or
hit
that
those.
other Victoria's Secret model who I can't remember bland.
You can't remember those. She was the least memorable, and hell, the replacement comic relief character of Stanley Tucci, who was Joshua Joyce, the CEO of KSI. He didn't overstay his welcome with his comic relief. It was around, but it worked. It wasn't overbearing.
And a lot of his, a lot of the things he said were kind of funny. I mean, like, the scene in the glass room. Ah, great, hiding in a glass box. No one's gonna find us here.
Yeah, he's more of a stating the obvious type comedy, as opposed to The Surfer Guy, which was a brain dead type comedy.
Are we gonna get the money, dude?
I don't think they're gonna pay us. Meanwhile, they're being shot at by about 50 different federal agents.
Oh my god, those scary cars are back again!
So, to finish off, Michael Bay killed the comic relief character.
The bad comic relief character.
He killed him. Like, he killed the one you wanted to see dead. Which was a surprise. Fight scenes were good. Smaller cast. A plot that actually made a little bit of sense.
I mean, like...
It was better than Dark of the Moon.
Yeah.
And it was certainly better than Revenge of the Fallen. Lord knows if I could figure out what his plan was.
The Fallen in Revenge of the Fallen was...
Yeah, he wanted to kill their son.
It was pretty much...
Whatever.
Destroy the sun, take over this
Take
whole
over.
area, and drain all energy, and... Just...
What else? There was that. There was... Generally good performances from everyone. Like I said,
generally
Kelsey Grammer, Mark Wahlberg, Stanley Tucci a little bit. I'd say the only thing I would have wanted to see from this movie would have been Captain Lennox from the previous movies.
Yeah.
He was the shining jewel.
Captain
of
Lennox
of the previous movies. He was the
You know,
he was the military guy.
Pretty much any of the military guy, like main military guys, like him or the black guy. I would have loved to see them. I can't remember the black guy's name, but Lennox or the black guy.
It would have been fun to see them. Sadly, no. We're... How do I put it? They were gone from the movie. And it's implied that they might have been killed.
Which, if they were, that's horrible.
Because they were good characters.
They really were.
I would like to see...
They were.
I'd like to see them return.
Yeah.
No. But we'll have to see how they handle that in the next movie.
They better not mess the next movie
and,
up.
you know, just to play devil's advocate here, because I can't remember, I came into this movie expecting to hate it, so I have to point out the flaws.
Yes.
Like I said, Nicola Peltz... So yeah, sorry. Camera ran out of charge, and Rob had to go to bed in the interim time between my finding the charger and getting it back up. Anyway, last thing I wanted to say was just, like, my problems with it. I'll get it out real quick, because I want to hit the seg too, because it's getting late. That would be 1. Like I said, I wanted to see more Captain Lennox. He was a good character. He was honestly a very interesting character from the first franchise, and I really liked him. Secondly, there were way too many plot convenience moments where the humans really should have died given this situation. Like they're falling out of a spaceship into like a glass shattering building. They're about to get hit by a grenade. They're being subjected to serious amounts of G-forces. It's really bad. They should have made it a lot less likely that they would die, because there were way too many scenes where it really seems like they're questioning our intelligence, because these people should have fucking died many times over. Plot Convenience Fairy was working overtime. I feel like there actually is a plot being set up, like an arcing plot for this. I want to say it's a new franchise. It's an arcing plot, because they're putting a lot of setup into what's supposed to be the next movie, possibly the next 2. And it seems like there's actually something going on. Like the past 3 movies, it's been 3 completely different plots that have nothing to do with one another. And it seems like they were just cobbling something together for a blockbuster. Here it seems like they're putting effort into the plot. But at the same time, now that I've grown accustomed to just getting a cobbled together story, seeing all of this build up kind of makes these characters seem like wasted potential when you're looking at it as a solitary film. Galvatron feels like wasted potential. Lockdown's whole backstory is a little convoluted, so I'd like to see a little bit more explanation on that. Like, not his personal backstory, but why he was hunting Optimus, why he specifically wanted him. He said in the movie, the creators want you. Okay, who the fuck are the creators? Are they the Quintessons, or are you pulling something out of your ass? It's really just the plot convenience fairy. And the... my biggest gripes are the plot convenience fairy and the fact that the Dinobots don't show up till the last end of the movie. To the very end. I was expecting to despise this film. I've gone to see it twice. So, that's my opinion on Transformers 4 Age of Extinction. I'd like to know what your opinions are. Leave them in the comments below. Send me messages. Do whatever you want. Let me know what you guys think, because I feel like this is a very different direction for Michael Bay. He might actually gain back some respect, if that's possible. But in terms of like this movie standing alone, he has blown every other Transformers film out of the water so far. So, this is Arc Gunner from thepunkeffect.com signing off. Everyone, have a good night.